Dick Cheney, such an important member of recent history, yet somehow almost forgotten. Regardless of what your opinion of him is, there is no denying the fact that he helped shape America and the world, for better or for worse. On the 49th episode of the Cardboard Box Theory, we explored Dick Cheney and how he left such a large mark on history, all while never actually becoming president. From his failures at Yale to his triumphs in politics, all the way up to his crucial and yet vital decision-making on 9/11 and the years following. The man is a multiple decades seasoned politician, extremely caring and sympathetic towards his children, and has fought off death right at its doorstep. Can he really be that bad? Hello and welcome to the 49th episode of the Cardboard Box Theory. I'm the co-host Michael, and Joey, today we're talking about the dick.
The dick?
Yeah, we're talking about the big old dick.
Big old fucking husky dick.
Yeah, of the Cheney variety, though. The Cheney variety.
Yeah.
Really complex, just overall weird figure in history that honestly doesn't get talked about enough, and it really had a major effect in recent history in America.
Yeah, he had a huge effect that nobody really knows about or talks about. Yeah. We all kind of blame it on Bush and everything like that. But
Bush did 9/11. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
All the conspiracy theories, you never know, man. They could be true.
I'm looking at you, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. You guys know what we're talking about. You understand. You've been through it all. You read all the books, all the videos that he watched on YouTube for countless hours, trying to debunk that 9/11.
All facts.
Yeah.
All facts.
That it was maybe an inside job. We don't know. You never know, Michael. It could have been an inside job. I'm not saying it's inside. I'm making a joke, all right?
Yeah. But we're going to start off with when he was a little dick. Here.
Just a little smidge of a dick.
Yeah,
just
like he grew a little bit.
Yeah.
But we'll start off when he was about 18, 19. He believed he started in Yale.
Yeah, he was at Yale. He had a hard time getting into Yale. He actually had to have his wife, Lynn, which I got to figure out her full name. I just know her as Lynn. But his wife, Lynn, had to get him into Yale because he wasn't much of a school student, Michael. If you could say so. Wasn't much of a school student.
He was reckless. He got a bunch of DUIs, didn't he? He was racking them up.
He got 2 DUIs, which in 1966, you getting DUIs, you're trying pretty fucking hard to get a DUI, Michael.
Yeah, it's not like how it is today.
No, they pull you over and you have 1 beer. They're like, all right, son, so I'm going to have to take away your license.
That's 40 years in prison.
Yeah, we're going to have to get rid of you. Don't drink and drive, kids. Not a good thing. But anyways, he was kicked out of Yale for excessive drinking, fighting with people, getting into arguments, all that good stuff.
Shitty grades, too.
Yeah, not good grades.
Come on, like, you're going to be a vice president of the United States, you're going to have shitty grades, man.
You got to work your ass off if you want to be vice president of the United States.
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
You could just hate gays.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Mike Pence.
But then then he worked on electrical lines, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Electrical lines.
So apparently electrical lines back in the 60s, 70s era was a petty job?
Yeah, it was like,
guess you could call it.
It was like you were the shit-ons, basically. I guess it was a job for people that were kind of fuck-ups, if you want to call them that. Fuck-ups, which a lot of us are fuck-ups, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Join the crowd.
Yeah. But no, he went to that, tried that, obviously, kept drinking, and then his wife was like, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Get your shit together. I don't know what the hell you think.
Snacking around. And honestly, I think this played an underrated role. I know. We got some of our information from the movie Vice for this, but like,
Great movie.
yeah, it was a great movie. But I looked into deeper detail about this, and like, apparently this played a huge psychological factor.
Yeah.
in him, and like, it was a really common thing for like a man to like want to work really hard just for his wife in that time, and like, he was probably genuinely scared of like losing her.
Well, back in the 60s, I feel like that's what a lot of American life was that was the white picket fence life. You know what I mean? Like, you have a wife, you have your kids, you work your 9 to 5, you kill yourself fucking when you're 56 because you hated it your entire time. But that's what I feel like the 1960s was. So it's like if you didn't have social media today, and you were just left out completely, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's a rich times after World War II. World War II really brought us out of that depression. We were joking about World War II earlier, but got it in there.
It was like it rained in America for like 20 years, and then it like finally opened up with life and color in the United States after that happened. World War II, though, not a good time. Not a good time.
But back on the Cheney, after he failed Yale and his girlfriend started slapping him around, eventually he went on to go to the University of Wisconsin. Really interesting choice. Really local to us, actually.
Yeah, really local. I mean,
Sort of. It was a stretch.
We're just trying, you know. We like you, Wisconsin. Want to get involved with this.
Yeah, come along.
I got cousins from Wisconsin. Shout out my cousins.
Yeah, but basically what happened is he basically tried to become a political insider, and as he was like pursuing that, Lynn's mom died. So like, you sort of saw like a more
Go ahead. We're going to touch on this topic.
Yeah, you sort of see a more like sympathetic side, I guess, to him.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what would it be?
Okay, so we're going to give you the backstory here. Dick Cheney's wife, Lynn, I'm going to get her full name here for you guys in a second. So,
Lynn Sanity.
Lynn Sanity.
Number 17.
Lynn Sanity. Let's go back to 2012 for a minute.
Yeah. Honestly, we need to get the Lynn Sanity jersey back here. That would be pretty sick.
Yes, dude. I'm going to look up, see how much Lynn Sanity jerseys are. I'm not even kidding. We're looking it up. Get it framed and shit up there, dude. That'd be great. Yeah. But anyways, going back to Lynn, her mother died in a drowning accident.
Yeah, after she never swimmed before. Ever.
No, never got up in that water. Never got wet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, sorta. What she did, she drowned. She drowned in it.
All right, but anyways.
Boy, politics.
But okay, so she goes swimming. We're gonna put swimming in parentheses.
It seemed like she got murdered.
Michael, I'm gonna give you a heads up here. She did get murdered. So Lynn's father, her and her dad got in an argument. Lynn's dad and her mom got in an argument, and they were near a lake. They were at a lake or something.
Yeah,
and she randomly was like, you know what, hon? I'm going to go into the water for the first time in my life today. Out of this giant argument we had.
It sounds like he tossed her in the water.
Yeah, this sounds like a case of good old homicide, if you know what I'm saying, Michael. But he never got indicted nothing ever happened. The police, it was 1960, bro. They were like...
a lot more lax. Anything a male said is kind of like Saudi Arabia at that point. No, it wasn't Saudi Arabia, but you get what I'm saying.
Dude, in the 60s, this is terrible. This is awful. They would like go to the house and all I can think about is Family Guy, like making a skit at this. They go to the house and they'd be like, "Oh, my husband's beating me," and they'd be like, "Yeah, well, maybe you should have cooked dinner a little bit earlier."
Yeah,
like,
honestly, women, it's so underrated how little women's rights were paid attention to, and like in the entire 1900s.
Yeah, they didn't even give a shit about him at all.
America. But once again, off topic from the day.
That was a good off topic. But anyways, where were we at? We were
talking about Lynn's mom dying.
Yeah, Lynn's mom died. So then Dick Cheney. What were we getting at?
Dick Cheney would eventually, that's when he started going on to the conference. Basically, what was it? I forget exactly what it was called. I have it on my notes, but it was some sort of conference where he would eventually meet Mr. Rumsfeld.
Yeah, he went to I think it was an internship. Yeah, it was an internship he went to.
Yeah. And
there was this man called... man's name was Donald Rumsfeld.
Yeah, Donald Rumsfeld. He'd say I know a little bit about him. He did play a pretty big factor in 9/11. He's sort of like a mentor for him almost.
Yeah, he was a huge mentor for him because Dick Cheney went on to learn a lot from Rumsfeld and a lot of stuff from Rumsfeld.
So basically, they went to this sort of like committee for like basically like internships for like Congress, and at that time it was predominantly male and Republicans like ruling at the time because that's just what was popular. And then basically what went on to happen was that Nixon resigned, and it led to Rumsfeld taking a new chief of staff position after Nixon resigned. And basically that's when Dick Cheney really started to flourish and become like a political advisor.
Yeah, he was huge. He learned a lot, and Rumsfeld was known around Congress as kind of being like a dickhead, I guess you could say. No, I don't know. Yeah, he was probably a dickhead.
He was like, I mean, as a lackey though, he was loyal. I remember saying he was like loyal. What were the other things like?
All of them were need to be loyal, not say a word, and there was one other one I can't remember.
But you sort of the strict. It's sort of like a strict guidelines and like politics that you don't really get to see.
No, the movie played a really good showed how good. But I don't know if Congress really runs like that or how it really works. But.
Well, no, not today. I don't think it does. But back in the day, there was people like even who took over after John F. Kennedy. I remember he was famous for like standing over people with his fucking bad coffee break,
dude. LBJ was that?
Yeah, Lyndon B. Johnson. Yeah, you're correct.
Lyndon LBJ and the
Bazing.
CIA.
Bazing.
Bazing.
Yeah. Hey, you thought you got that answer.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. Bazing. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Donald Henry Rumsfeld. Is he still alive? He is still alive. Look at that. Oh, yeah, he's still alive.
Yep. Alive and kicking, sadly. I guess war doesn't necessarily induce death if you're not directly involved with it.
Exactly. If you're just behind the scenes pushing all the buttons, that's when it gets a little saucy. We're gonna go on more about Dick Cheney here. Yeah,
basically, Dick Cheney would go on to the Wyoming. I think he was running in Wyoming. Was that correct? Or?
Yeah, he was running after Ford loses the race.
Yeah,
Carter. Yeah. Because
Jimmy Carter won that.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter won that. Carter goes in, has solar panels put in, which I like. That was a good part.
Yeah,
in the movie how he put solar panels and shit in.
Yeah,
but it wasn't for the reasons we're having today. Like, oh, it's global warming. Nope, we're running out of fossil fuels. That was always said was like we're running out of fossil fuels. They weren't like, oh, it's causing bad stuff to the air. But
more serious now.
Yeah, and then Dick Cheney goes in Wyoming. They kind of realize he's not a good talker at all, and then his heart problems start.
Yeah, the continuous heart problems kind of plagued him throughout his life.
Almost. Yeah, a lot of heart problems started. He went to Wyoming. I'm trying to see what else happened here with him.
Yeah, but then after he started doing the Wyoming race, and basically he had a heart attack like about halfway through the race, and then he still went on to win because of Lynn.
Yeah,
Lynn really like powered through, and like
she started giving all his speeches and stuff.
Yeah,
helped him out a lot.
And that's when he really started. He even got his own room in the Capitol building, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
which really spoke volumes, and he was a major player in Congress. He would eventually go on to be.
He's huge, dude. And the thing I liked what they said about him was he was like Cheney wasn't a big talker at all.
No, he was a very quiet guy.
Yeah, and the quote in the movie was like, "Those should not be afraid of the people who are the loudest with those who don't talk, because when there's like an opportunity, they'll strike." Yeah,
he's just planning, and that's what his whole life was about.
Yeah, exactly. Sitting back, waiting for the right opportunity.
Yeah, we'll get how that played in a factor with George Bush, but
yeah. And then we'll go on to Dick was when was this? Oh, let's go back. We're gonna go back here for a minute. I'm trying to find. You want to talk about the Fairness Doctrine real quick?
Yeah. The Fairness Doctrine played. That was another major role in the terms of philosophy with Dick Cheney.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was a certain practice in the Constitution that basically they found that any person of the federal branch of the government, meaning the executive branch, was allowed to do practically whatever they want.
Yeah.
And under the right circumstances, and like he had lawyers that personally like argued for him.
Yeah.
And even when they were in that room discussing 9/11 right after it happened, it was like quoted in saying that like he was talking to his lawyer and not his advisors and shit, which is really questionable.
Yeah, that is really questionable. You should not be doing that when 9/11's going on at all, because it's just weird how he used powers to go against things, like figure out ways around stuff to do more things, and like just use his power not in a good way, like figuring out things that the holes in the system, if you would say, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just he definitely found like loopholes that like he could exploit to his own benefit, and basically spread what he thought was right. Yeah, exactly.
The world.
And if he didn't, he would do it no matter what. It seemed like he would find his way. He
really also saw the really closed door decision making. I think that's something we missed on a little bit earlier in his political career, but he really saw the closed door politics on how like Rumsfeld explained how like basically one decision made in a room would decide the fate of thousands and maybe even potentially millions of Afghanistan. I mean, not particularly Afghanistan, but African and like Middle Eastern children and families.
Yeah, because there was that scene in the movie when he's like Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld are talking, and Rumsfeld's like, "Do you know what they're talking about in there?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "They're talking about bombing Cambodia, was it? It was Cambodia."
Yeah.
And Cheney was like, "Why aren't they in the Oval Office?" And he's like, "Because nobody can know about this, what they're doing." He's like, "They're going to do it no matter what. Congress, they don't want Congress's approval."
Yeah, and it goes to show you how much power like really presidents have now.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Even with fucking Donald Trump closing down the border with Mexico. Is that really going to happen?
Yeah, I think people are going to start getting mad when they can't get avocados.
Yeah, dude, avocado prices are going to
seriously. I've read an article. I actually have it. If we want to, we can resume it a little bit later. But avocados are going to run out in a month.
Well, my sister was telling me that. Well, she has to order avocados at work, and she said it's like $50 a box.
Hefty.
That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking money.
Hit up your local avocado dealers.
I'm about to start selling avocados on the low. If you need avocados, come hit me up. I should have stocked up on them a month ago if I knew about this before.
Yeah, you got to buy them at the right price point.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to lose money on it, but you also want to gain a lot of money from it. 101.
Yeah, back to riding this dick. We were talking about basically how he won after Nixon resigned, and then Ford lost to Jimmy Carter, and then is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
And then he stepped in as a congressman, and he basically all through like the next 10 years of his life just voted no to many like crucial bills about civil rights, women's rights, especially gun violence. I remember the one wasn't a bill about like banning plastic guns in like the 80s.
Yeah, I want to look up things Cheney passed on, because it was crazy. Some of this, like what was the one? Oh, Martin Luther King Day. He said no to that one, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Fuck you. But yeah, and he said no to a lot of environmental acts, and I think people really downplay the amount of play he also had in like the energy and like the
huge.
Yeah, it's detrimental because he was a CEO of an energy company.
Yeah, he ended up going to be a CEO of an energy that was before. Yeah, he ended up going to be a CEO.
That was towards the middle of his life.
Yeah, that was towards the middle. And he wasn't going to be in politics anymore, right? Because he was going to run for presidency then. Remember? He was going to run for presidency.
Yeah, and he decided not to. So basically, before Bush asked him to, he was being a CEO of the company. So.
Yeah, and then after the CEO, things happened. Here, let me go to my mail quick. He got a call from Mr. George W. Bush, Michael.
Yeah.
George Bush.
Good old Bush.
Good old Bush-nader. Yeah, Cheney was going to retire, set off in the sunset, being a CEO and all that good stuff. Yeah. And then George Bush gave him a call, asked him if he wants to be the vice president. He doesn't want to take it, really, it seems like. Doesn't seem like he's a big fan of the job. Yeah. And then he decides, you know what? Let's do it. We're gonna go for it.
Yeah. The reasoning is he sort of convinced Bush in sort of a mind play. Almost. Yeah. It was like basically he convinced Bush to give him so many certain powers over the military, and basically anything that like would be major influences of an administration.
Yeah.
He wanted as a vice president. So it was really odd how much power he had as a vice president.
It was like foreign policy, military. I got it right here. It was foreign policy, military.
Yeah, the reason why we didn't touch much on what he did during the 80s and 90s is because most of the time he was a congressman during it because Democrats were winning outside of Ronald Reagan. He did have a place under the Reagan administration, in which him and Rumsfeld's relationship sort of like broke off after Rumsfeld sort of rubbed Reagan's core guys the wrong way and got sent off to be I think it was what was it called, the ambassador to the UN.
It was the ambassador to the UN. And then, cause where are we at now? What was I talking about?
But yeah, we're talking about good old Bush.
Oh yeah, and then he becomes vice president. Obviously, Bush wins. That was the other thing too, and it was like, remember it was a tiebreaker thing.
Yeah, I actually did a whole project on this in school. What happened basically was well, it was believed that the Republicans won by a few votes, but some of the votes were believed to be sort of like inflated for Republicans in core Republican like states. And like Bush only won by like 500 something votes. So like, and they were going to do a recount, but then Congress, which was primarily Republican, canceled the recount, which eventually led to Bush being elected.
Yeah, which is pretty goddamn interesting, huh? And Cheney started moving all the people in right away. He's like, nah, we won.
Imagine how different the world would have been.
Dude,
really
ridiculous.
More environmentalist.
Yeah, we would have been huge. We would have been way ahead of fucking energy and all that good stuff.
He made a fucking, what was his name again?
Al Gore.
Yeah, Al Gore. Al Gore made so many fucking climate change documentaries.
Yeah.
But that's when Dick Cheney really sort of like, you talked about earlier, quiet guy in the room, seized his power.
Yeah, he stepped in. He saw a weakness in Bush, it seems like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he saw Bush growing up with being very close to his father throughout the years, because he had positions underneath his father too, and like it's insane.
Could you imagine being born into a fucking presidential family?
Yeah,
that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I'm on a correction. I think he was earlier I said that he was a part of the Reagan administration. He was not as a part of the Bush administration.
Yeah.
Because he was close with Bush. I think under Reagan, that's when he was the CEO.
Yeah.
Making that guap for the oil companies.
In the 80s.
Yeah. But.
No, dude, I couldn't imagine if I was born into a president and they want you to like run for president.
Yeah, and like that's sort of what happened with his daughters. We didn't really touch on that either.
Yeah, we can touch on his daughter.
With his daughter running, she came out as a lesbian to him, and you'd think as a Republican he stood against like gay rights.
Yeah,
and he was hard against that, but basically he stood his stance against that.
Yeah,
a little bit because of his daughter.
Exactly, which
was fairly interesting. So it showed he really cared deeply about his family.
Yeah, and
like showed he was at least somewhat of a human.
Yeah, he seemed like a.
He definitely cared about his family. You couldn't say that. You definitely couldn't say that. Maybe a little bit too much. that bitch was like pulling the strings almost. If we're talking about Lynn. We're talking about Lynn.
Anyway, his wife. His wife was very... she was very different in the movie. I don't know. She was...
yeah, she was aggressive.
She was aggressive.
Yeah. Just
oh my God.
But yeah, that's basically when he settled in as vice president. Shortly after, he started having secret meetings all across. I mean, I know I have one in my notes, but it was shortly out of Washington where all like Republicans would meet every Wednesday and basically have a think tank.
Yeah, he had an office in the House of Representatives. He had 2 more offices in the Senate. He had 1 in the Pentagon. Later, when he needed intelligence to invade Iraq, a private one at the CIA. His Wednesday meeting, America for Tax Reforms.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Wednesday meetings, American for Tax Reforms.
Yeah, bro.
It's fucking ridiculous.
That's hefty because that just shows the amount of Republican influence, and at the same time, like he was still like he was pushing towards more like aggressive bills for Republicans at the same time. And he's just pushing for a law pass.
Yeah,
stuff.
My dog came in the room. That's all right. A little pause right there. Sorry. Cute little dog.
Shout out to Kia.
Kia. Come here, buddy. This is my puppy, Kia. Check him out. He doesn't know much about Dick Cheney.
No.
He's getting a little aggravated. My mom's gone for the week. As you can see, he's a little depressed. Say hi, Kia.
But yeah, Dick. Yeah, but not talking about dog wieners now.
No, we're not talking about dog wieners. Talking about Dick Cheney. Still talking about Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
But no, when he became vice president, like I said, he realized that George Bush was a pushover to him basically, and he kind of listened to Dick Cheney a lot, and definitely took his word when people said stuff to him. Yeah. You know what I mean? When 9/11 happened and they were trying to figure out who did it because nobody knew who fucking did 9/11. It took people forever to figure that out because it's kind of hard. We just like pointed fingers at Middle East. We're like, it was you guys for sure.
Yeah. They sort of just looked directly at Iraq and sort of just blamed them for it.
Yeah, also because it was oil too. But
yeah. He even drew up that, I know his company, Halliburton, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
His company Halliburton even drew up like dividing Iraq's like oil supply throughout like certain oil companies and certain oil bidders before secretly, and that was only released because of the Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
Which otherwise it would not have been released.
Exactly.
And then the big one happened.
The big one happened.
Yeah, we're talking about 9/11.
9/11, the most referenced thing since 2001, literally.
Yeah.
It's, dude, watching that movie and watching it over again, like watching 9/11. Every time I watch it, I'm like, I can't believe that fucking happened still.
Yeah.
I was like 4 years old, just sitting at the TV. What's going on? Just like looking around at my mom. My mom's having like a panic attack. What the hell's happening right now? No idea what the hell's going on.
I remember watching that shit on my couch just being freaked out.
I didn't know what was going on. I remember the day. I remember it very vividly, honestly. I can picture myself standing there looking at the TV, but that's all. I don't really know anything else after that. Panicking.
I just remember it caused me to do years of extensive research on it.
Yeah. I think, dude, I don't know one person that has not done extensive research on 9/11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's such an important topic. But yeah, after 9/11 happened, it's sort of weird how he basically forged his power over the military that he gained with an agreement with Bush to become vice president. He basically used that to basically rule the entire events of what happened on 9/11. Because he got pushed towards the bunker, and then Bush was told to stay at like the school teaching he was doing. He's reading a book to some elementary school children, and he stayed there while Dick went into the bunker, and that's sort of where they watched 9/11 play out. And that's where we talked about earlier how like he was just talking to his lawyer the whole time.
Yeah, he was talking to his lawyer to figure out the things he could do since Bush wasn't there. Because that's what he had to get. He had to see if he could pass stuff by. Because if the president isn't there to pass stuff by in a situation like that, it's kind of fucking... It's hard to do because you don't really have power as a vice president.
And he sort of really abused the Second Amendment.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
Not the Second Amendment, the amendment with governmental powers, but like he really abused that, like really hard.
I just can't believe 9/11 still happened. It's fucking crazy.
Kia's here.
Kia really wants to join in on the podcast.
Yeah,
but he can't
maybe talk about dog bones, dog politics.
He can talk about a lot of stuff. He's a cute goddamn dog. You don't like my dog? I don't know what to tell you. I was gonna say don't watch my podcast, but
please do.
Yeah, please watch it. But let's go on to something else here. Dick Cheney.
Yeah. Then he, after all the events in 9/11, he basically called in like to shoot down any like incoming planes near pretty much anything, and then that's Pentagon happened, and then he basically used this to forge an entire path throughout history now, because he used this to introduce the Patriot Act, which is a huge bill which basically led to like the NSA revelations directly almost. And he also, for some reason, him and Rumsfeld were just almost blatantly blaming Iraq.
They just wanted all the oil, it seems
Al-Qaeda.
like they just wanted to take all the oil plants ever around that area, which is fucked up, but it's USA stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Go in there, throw your democracy in there and see how it works, and you make it fucking work.
See, what the United States does is they use a tactic called shock and awe, which is like basically they'll go in and cause fake revolutions in places.
Yeah.
And when these fake revolutions occur, they basically use this to instill a new government that uses United States currency. That way it will bolster the United States dollar.
Yeah.
So then the communities get rebuilt all using the United States dollar, but since there's no local money worth anything, the everything's way too high and overpriced, and it just doesn't work.
Exactly. There's not enough jobs around the area for them to keep up and fucking.
Yeah, when people are poor, then they use that as war.
Yeah,
and then they basically use that to take oil.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
America, fuck yeah.
And then, obviously, Dick Cheney was in office for, 8 years? Bush for 2 terms, honestly?
Yeah, Bush had 2 terms.
2 terms. 2 terms. So remember that, all the Donald Trump haters out there. We could have a second term.
Yeah.
So, just remember that one, guys.
It's not quite over yet. We still need to win.
Yeah. What else we got here? We obviously took Afghanistan and Iraq then, and
well, we supposedly claimed, the war basically started to wage on 3 months after 9/11, and they pretty much directly blamed Iraq, even though there really was no connection, and they blamed specifically one terrorist that led to something way bigger than just one terrorist too, which is kind of ironic. His name is Abu Zarqawi.
Yeah.
And he had a very slight connection with Al-Qaeda, but here's the problem. With Muslim religions, you have Sunnis and Shiites. He was a Sunni, and he really hated Shiites. And bin Laden's mom was actually Shiite, so he didn't agree with bin Laden at all. But after Dick Cheney and Rumsfeld basically openly blamed this almost a lone wolf terrorist at this point in his life for this, it basically glorified him and made him almost like a martyr.
People thought he was way bigger than he actually was. And then a year later, he went into hiding when they came out. The USA came out and said they were going to track him down, basically. Went into hiding, came back out a year later, and produced something called ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS. He produced ISIS, known as, ISIS has chopped people's heads off.
Yeah. Is it the Islamic State of Levant and Syria?
Yeah, something like that.
I think that's something.
Syria's a fucking shit show.
Like, how do you get the initials ISIS out of that?
I don't know.
You're telling me that's not a stretch for a nickname?
You can't just create your own goddamn nickname.
ISIS just sounds like NWO coming out on like WWE events. Just
ISIS sounds like a WWE wrestler's name. ISIS is used in a lot of other places too. There's something on Curb Your Enthusiasm. They're using the word ISIS a lot before. Maybe they took it from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. So a problem we created 2 decades ago was just defeated recently too. The United States just closed in on ISIS, even though Syria's still fucked, but that's a whole nother story. The whole nother United States investments in the Middle East.
Syria's like, well, we're fucked. So
we have 2 major countries in the world backing 2 different sides of a war.
We don't know if we like their leader either. We're like, well, we don't know if we like him. We're like, he kills people, but he might be all right. We don't really know. We're not sure with him.
Trump likes him because Russia likes him because Russia has a naval base there.
Yeah. So it's funny. Oh my God, politics, man, politics.
But basically that led to the invasion of Iraq, going way back to 3 months after 9/11.
Yeah,
it led to the invasion of Iraq and parts of Afghanistan, and basically warfare just spread throughout for like 2 or 3 years, and then in 2003, and in a last ditch attempt to basically like save its campaign, Bush declared the war was over. In 2003. And you have to understand these people, they use so many wicked tests on like humans and like what humans respond to word wise.
Yeah,
like you remember that from the movie, like it was just like they were like sort of like in classrooms almost.
Yeah. They were like what's the way to describe it? They were just like, they're seeing what works on people. They would test shit out, like the global warming thing. They were like,
they were saying which way they could say it. So
like global warming, that sounds scary. He's like, we should not call it that. Let's call it climate change. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, that sounds a lot better. That's not scary. It sounds good. So
Yeah.
they create two different things. And then people are like, oh, well, it's fucking global warming, climate change, all that shit. They would just test out what worked on the population, which is done today with advertisements still. So
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah, and it happens everywhere now. And what continued on basically after that is Bush declared the war was over. You know, soldiers were still present, and like, yeah, they killed Saddam Hussein, who had nothing to do with 9/11.
we just went there and like, hey,
Let's not forget that.
we need you, man. And they're like, what for? We got to kill you. We got to pin something on you real quick here. I didn't do anything, man. We don't care. We got to pin this on you.
Yeah.
We're sorry. We're way too deep in this shithole right now.
And basically the rebuild of Iraq at that point, after Bush got reelected, Katrina happened, so Bush had to not care about that too, and then he went on to not care about the rebuilding of Iraq, because once you plant that seed of democracy, it sprouts.
You know what's funny? I was sitting there thinking, like, could you imagine being Saddam Hussein and like USA just starts rolling in and you're like, what the fuck's going on, dude? And they're like, you did 9/11. No, I didn't. I didn't do fucking 9/11. They're like, well, that's what they're saying. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm gonna die for something I didn't even do.
And the bitch of it, they got his own people to take his statue down.
Yeah, which is crazy. I remember.
And like,
seeing
I'm not
that.
saying,
I remember
let's
that,
not
dude.
suck Saddam Hussein's dick here.
Oh, we're
he
not.
was a
We're just-
dictator and he was a bad person.
Yeah, terrible person.
But-
But it's just kind of funny how we like rolled up in there and like, hey, eat rocks, bitch.
Yeah.
Just fucking took him out.
Yeah, we should laugh considering one point over when they estimated in the movie 600,000, but you and I were talking earlier, those numbers are sort of screwed, and it's more like 1.2 million people that innocent civilians were killed during the Iraq War.
Yeah, just random people just killed.
1.2 million.
Murdered to death. Murdered to death.
Put that in perspective. That's a war we've been in for how long now? We've killed 1.2 million innocent people, and they're trying to still push nowadays that rebels in Iraq are still fighting for Saddam Hussein. No, they're not fighting for Saddam Hussein. They're fighting to keep the United States out of Iraq.
Exactly, but we want to keep coming back. I mean, obviously, thank you all our soldiers who went over there, but
Yeah. I'm not talking shit on
this is
soldiers
what
at
the
all.
thing. It's like this is my theory. Like, I don't want to go fight a country that has nothing to do with anything. Like, obviously, America's like, we don't mind Muslims, kill them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seems like. We don't mind Muslims.
It's just because they
Kill 'em.
chose a group of people that we weren't really connected with
Yeah, exactly.
in the world.
Exactly. And we're like, well, I mean, obviously somebody did do 9/11. Like, that's obvious. But like,
See, I've had
wasn't
a
it
theory.
Saudi Arabia? Didn't that come out in the CIA
17
documents?
out of the 19 terrorists came out of Saudi Arabia.
Why didn't we invade Saudi Arabia though, Michael?
Gun contracts, Joey. Gun contracts and oil contracts. You see, after we invaded 9/11, we need somewhere to go with all this oil. I mean, casualty of war. They gave up their oil. So we had to find somewhere to pump it, and basically we just basically pumped it out to Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia spoke our language. They were like, well, we'll trade in the U.S. dollar.
Yeah,
We'll do that.
Okay, sounds like a plan. They're like, all right, you don't touch us, we don't touch you.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
and
plan.
that's why Saudi Arabia is one of the richest countries with one of the worst human rights streaks in the world.
Yeah, they're pretty bad over there, aren't they?
They literally last year just let women drive. They were the last country. This is not even a joke. They were literally the last recognized country in the world to let women drive.
They're like, hey, it's finally you guys' time. They're like, we don't know if we want to really do this. So they feel
Go
like we
get them,
have to.
tigers.
Dude, we live in weird times still.
Yeah, Google actually sells a tracking device in the Middle East for basically you can track your wife or woman. And if they try to fly, you can deny their passport.
Are you serious?
And Google sells this.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah.
Device. So if your wife's like trying to leave the country and he's like, oh, no.
No, that's... You're coming back here tonight.
Tracking device. This has got to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia package tracking.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have the article from way back, but I'd have to really scrape my Reddit for that.
Dude.
But we got a little bit off track again. But yeah, it was sort of about the dick. Talking about casualty wars of Dick Cheney, but basically Dick Cheney during this time just like we said causes many wars, and he sort of blatantly denied climate change and like the effects of it. And he basically gave benefits out to all his energy companies, like the company he was a part of, and somehow along the way 22,000 emails from before 9/11 got erased.
Got erased. His really fell.
Imagine if that happened today.
That should be a law that politicians cannot delete their emails.
How do we just lose that 22,000 emails? Pretty crucial shit.
I would love to see those emails.
I think a lot of people, they're probably locked away in the Vatican archives or something.
Oh. Speaking of the Vatican, I want to touch on this topic real quick. The Pope and getting his hand shook. Doesn't like it, Michael. He's not a big fan of it.
Yeah, he doesn't like you kneeling down and kissing the motherfucking ring.
If you've ever seen the video, it was released I think last week. There's a video of the Pope meeting with people. Dude, being the Pope must be a rough one, man. You know what I'm saying? Just being the Pope, being the Pope seems not like a good time. So much work. You got to meet with people. You got to bless people on a constant basis. Yeah. But anyways, he's standing there and people keep trying to kiss his hand and he just keeps ripping it away. Keeps ripping it away every time. He doesn't let anybody kiss his hand. People like try to sneakily do it. They try to go in there and kiss it and he's like, nope. And just like slaps him away. Get the fuck out of there. It was just so funny to see him like that.
Yeah, he was like, it's not Roman times anymore. We don't need to do that.
Do you think he's germophobic at all?
Nah, I don't think it's that. I think he just literally sees it as like, this is weird.
I don't want somebody kissing my hand, especially everybody kissing your hand.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm just a messenger for Jesus.
Maybe. Hey man, I'm just a messenger for Jesus, not the actual guy. You know what I'm saying?
You should say that as a disclaimer to everyone who talks.
Yeah, right. You should like, hey, could you please bless our baby? I'm just telling you right now, I'm just Jesus' messenger.
Dick Cheney should do that too. He should be like, hey, I'm literally Satan.
Yeah, right. I'm the devil. This is what I have to actually do. You know what I'm saying?
Is he that bad though?
Is he that bad, Michael?
I don't know.
Do you think Dick Cheney's that bad?
I don't know. See, I don't think it's Dick Cheney's fault he got the way he is, but
I think power makes people drunk too. Listen, this isn't us backing Dick Cheney at all. I'm just saying, like, I think power honestly makes people.
It does crazy
Power is
things.
like a drug to people sometimes.
Yeah, especially when you can control a little monkey like George Bush.
Yeah, dude, he's easy to control.
Literally eats. I think he just strictly ate bananas for all 8 years in office.
Just ate bananas and watched sports. They just put TV in front of him. Like, here, watch sports.
Like, I'm gonna go buy the Dodgers.
That wasn't too bad of an impression. I could have worked with that. That was a pretty decent one.
It was alright. Never how I wanted. I've been trying to have the George Bush impression for years. But yeah, Dick Cheney really fucked some shit up there. And after that, he sort of disappeared out of the political eye. And he eventually had a heart attack.
Yeah, he had a heart attack and had to get his heart replaced in the end by some random guy. I don't know if the guy... Let's look up Dick Cheney's heart replaced person. Dick Cheney's...
See,
heart.
The Vice movie was told from the perspective of the person who gave his last heart transplant, but basically Dick Cheney was like on his deathbed.
Oh, he was a veteran. Yeah, that's right. The dude was a veteran. He was on his deathbed. Do you think he was really that much on his deathbed? Or do you think the movie portrayed that?
I don't think he was on that. The movie always dramatizes.
This movie was like, Dick's got one breath left.
Wait,
dude, just
heart.
Somebody's name being Dick is just too goddamn funny.
It's
to
like
me
they were just waiting for the first person to die.
Yeah, dude,
in the general vicinity of where he's at. But sadly, he was stationed in his hometown of Wyoming, and like there was only 36,000 people, so he had to really wait a little bit longer.
And weren't they saying like Dick Cheney doesn't like to refer to the heart donor as a person? He likes to refer to it as his new heart or something.
Yeah,
like he wouldn't acknowledge
something psychotic like that.
Dude, imagine somebody's name being Dick N Balls.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly though, on a more serious
hey, Dick and Balls.
Hey, Dick Balls, where's your Cheney? Something stupid like that.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, what were you saying? My bad. I was too busy making fun of Dick names.
Yeah, nah, Dick Cheney deserves it. But I was saying, on a more serious note, going back to Dick Cheney and how he like handled the wars, like it's just so like he didn't get any recognition for it.
Well, I like when they do in the movie with the wars how it shows like Dick Cheney eating a fucking like a croissant or some shit like that. And then he's like eating it. And he's like, all right, next thing. And it just shows like bombers going over a village and blowing it up. And he's like, all right, next topic. Because like
it's just calmly talking about like killing like thousands of people.
Well, dude,
and making it nonchalant.
Putting it in that perspective as like somebody like, oh, yep, just go bomb them. And then it like shows them bombing and then they just keep doing their work. And it's like, to think that actually happens after, like they just have B-52s go over there and fucking whoop, just drop a bunch of bombs on the fucking people.
Yeah.
It's weird to think that's how government works. I don't know. It's just weird to think we bomb people like that, period.
Yeah, man. It's really horrendous and scary at some points. Yeah, but I mean, reflecting back on the war, like, was it worth it? I mean,
No.
we first came in looking for weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Then we came in looking for this terrorist, and then it was chemical weapons. Then it was the government needs to be stabilized, and we need to maintain our seat of democracy.
Yeah.
At one point, do we realize that these are more just excuses for a war?
To kill people and make money off of it?
Yeah. I mean, war, people don't know that a lot. War is extremely profitable.
Oh, huge. Hugely profitable. It's giant.
Yeah.
You need guns, you need weapons, you need a lot of things. So, and it brings profit into people because also we get oil from it too. We save
And all aspects. You have to build the cars, and then build the tanks, build the helicopters, pay for the gas, pay for the bullets. Each soldier costs $22,000 to suit up for a basic soldier.
Yeah.
And all that combined, and it's really, I mean, it's insane the amount of money that goes into war, but also like the planning, because like George H. Bush, who was a major player in Dick Cheney's politics, and it influenced him because he saw him as like a peer and like someone basically he like would study off of and like, learn from, and he foresaw the war because in 1983 George Bush Sr. sent the CIA into Iraq and start trying to set up like fake revolutions. Same thing they first initially did in Chile, and just you can sort of see the monster being created from the pressures of his wife to then all the pressures of the politics life, and like he's a hard right-wing Republican, so he needs to be for war and against civil rights. So like it's just like so much like building up.
Exactly. That was good. I like how you did that right there. That was nice. That was a very good description. I like that.
Yeah, but Dick Cheney's a bad person.
Yeah, Dick Cheney's not a good person. After finishing that movie and doing some research on him, he's not a very...
I mean, even reading from his personal account, because I want to be totally biased.
He also shot somebody in the fucking face.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that he just shot someone and then didn't apologize, but the guy did apologize for getting shot in the face by Dick Cheney.
Imagine getting shot by Dick Cheney and he's like, he wants an apology from you. You're laying in your bed and like, what? He wants you to apologize. He wants me to apologize. Isn't that some petty bullshit, huh? He wants me to fucking apologize?
Yeah.
Dude, no, that's fucking shit.
Yeah, it just shows the character of Dick Cheney, the ruthless aggression.
Yeah, the ruthless aggression. Do you got any topics, Michael? Anything else to add to it? Any other topics too you want to talk about?
I'd still have a little bit more about the good old Dick.
All right, go ahead. Keep going with him.
Yeah, but as far as like Dick, like I think as a summary of Dick Cheney, what the influences he had of the war were really understated, and the fact that Bush sort of let him, I don't think it's entirely everything was Dick's fault.
I don't think it was either. I definitely think Bush obviously had some say in it, and obviously was. Bush was obviously the person that you had to go to say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like to pass stuff. What I'm saying? Like Dick Cheney he obviously could, but Bush had to be like, yeah, we're going to do that. Like, Dick Cheney seems like he was a good influencer and knew what to do to fucking sway Bush the right
and
way.
Like, it even said he planted seeds throughout, like, Congress and, like, basically, like, had, like, people that, like, would vote for him for no matter what. Yeah. And, like, he basically built a network around it. Mm-hmm. It's almost psychotic and sadistic.
He knew what he was doing in the fucking government. He for sure knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I definitely can't say he's stupid.
No, dude. Very intelligent person. Yeah. A lot of criminals are fucking intelligent, which is why they're criminals, because they're good at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that about sums it up on the good old Dick. We got a limp dick about it now. Yeah, limp dick about Dick Cheney.
Yeah, limp dick about Dick Cheney. But one topic I want to bring up is the WWE's treatment of the wrestlers, because this story sort of blew up with John Oliver. John Oliver basically did a whole segment on how wrestlers are treated as independent contractors, but they can't work for anyone else but the WWE.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
And then they're not provided health care. And then wrestlers actually have a significantly higher death rate than any other sport, and it's not even close.
Well, you know why? Because they're getting slammed on their heads fucking twice a week, dude.
Yeah.
More like 4 times a week. They wrestle so much.
400
it's
times a year
insane.
sometimes.
That's insanity. And they don't recover. So that makes your body a lot more weak. They do recover. They take steroids, though. So it's a lot
Vince
different.
McMahon's proven to be like, well, not proven, I guess he got acquitted of that. He might have got charged with that. I don't remember.
Have you seen Vince McMahon, bro? At 79 years old?
He's like,
dude, the dude's putting so much steroids in his body. I don't even think his body knows what to do.
Yeah,
I need to watch his John Oliver segment tonight. This seems really interesting.
Yeah, but actually, there's potentially a protest this Sunday at WrestleMania over like the fans might try to protest and like bring signs about like the WWE's treatment of the wrestlers prior, because you got wrestlers like Roddy Piper who openly said that he wasn't going to live to see his retirement pension from the WWE.
Damn, dude.
And like he didn't, because he had to be 65 collected. He died at 61.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And he called it on his podcast, actually.
What did Roddy Piper die from again?
It's just health complications, just from his body just giving out. And the average, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But the average wrestler lifespan is usually below age of 65.
Yeah, they also live off a good diet of cocaine and beer most of the time too, back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, you're talking about the one Jake the Snake documentary.
Jake's fucking great documentary. A lot of cocaine. Dude did a lot of cocaine. No, but getting slammed on their head, and it's like they go through concussion like people think, oh, it's fake. Well, the moves aren't fake, but everything else is fake. Like them punching each other and all that shit's not real. But them getting thrown off a top turnbuckle into a fucking table is 1,000% real.
Yeah, like some of the shit, like wrestling's fake to a degree.
Yeah.
Correct. Like they're not actually going out there punching her, but like some of the falls you can't really fake.
Jumping on a ladder, you can't really fake either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be like, we're jumping on a ladder and not gonna get hurt today.
Nope. Fake ladder.
Do I got any topics here? Yeah, I do got one. Look up a video called "Kissing My Actual Brother" on YouTube. Look it up.
So what's this about?
This video is about this YouTuber. I don't know if it's real, and if it is real, you're a fucking freak, dude. So the video is this dude, and he's like, "All right, so I brought my sister in the video. I'm gonna try to get her to kiss me today. Like, I really want to try this and see how it works out. I want to kiss my sister." Bro, this isn't a peck. This is full-blown makeout.
Oh, no.
If that's your actual sister, you're a fucking creep, bro. It's one of those cringe videos you watch and you're just like, no, I don't like
that wasn't healthy for me.
I don't like this at all, no. Another thing I want to talk about, Russell Westbrook goes 20-20-20.
Rest in peace, Nipsey.
Yeah, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle for a shot for absolutely no fucking reason, dude.
Yeah.
And people are trying to pin it on documentaries making about Dr. Sebi. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I don't really know much info about it, but people are saying this is what he was killed for, and he was killed by the government. They're saying it's a military style, and he was shot by the government, I'm guessing. Conspiracy theories are saying now. Nipsey Hussle was killed by the government or something.
Yeah, I saw a little bit about it. I would have to look into it, but
it's dumb. There's a full surveillance video of it. You can watch the shooting, which I don't recommend doing, and I don't recommend. Can we stop being a culture that just posts people dead on the internet? Like,
yeah, like fuck, man. We put Steve Irwin stuff on pay-per-view for $5.
Did we really?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
That shit was on pay-per-view.
Was that really true?
Yeah, dead ass. I remember you'd be able to buy it. You could watch him die because they were recording when it happened.
On pay-per-view? Bro, if this is real, I'm going to shit my pants. Literally.
Yeah, dead ass. You could buy it for $4.99.
Steve Irwin's death to footage to be destroyed. Crocodile Steve Irwin.
Oh, did they finally destroy it? I know for when it first happened, though, it was 100% on pay-per-view.
I think I remember that, too. I think I remember somebody talking about that. Steve Irwin could have been saved if he hadn't pulled out the Stingray. Man, legend, huh?
Yeah. PETA's like, fuck you, Steve Irwin. When it's like, fuck you, PETA.
Fuck PETA, dude. PETA's the most fraudulent fucking piece of shit on the goddamn planet, dude. I do not like PETA because they're like, don't kill animals, but we kill animals and a lot of other things too. So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
You can't kill animals and say don't kill animals. Like,
Yeah, the hypocrisy is real.
that's fucking ridiculous, dude. Oh man, our shelters are full. We got to kill the rest of these animals. But you say don't kill animals. Like, if you guys are don't kill animals then. Don't come after some asshole that killed a fucking deer while he was hunting. Or a deer gets hit by a car and Peter's like, you fucking piece of shit. You
What the
killed that
fuck?
deer. It's like, dude, chill the fuck out. It ran out in front of my car. Relax, bud.
Yeah.
All right, got any topics, Michael? Sorry for that rant, but I had to like it.
Nah, man,
get that
fuck
one out.
PETA. Fuck PETA. I think that about wraps it up. Fuck PETA and Dick Cheney, bad person.
Bad person.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney.
That's the verdict.
Yeah, bad person. Good person, bad person. We should do like a podcast on good person, bad person.
Yeah, we'll
Like,
do a judgment.
Is
Would
it
be a
judgment?
yeah, I don't know.
Judgment if it's true.
Or is it the realness?
Yeah.
That's the question.
All right, that was episode 49, y'all.
Take it easy.
Bye.